Are you hungry? Jack's level of patience drops to 0 most mornings. He's always up in my grill. It is 8:05. Just doing a little packing. And then we're going to, I think we said breakfast. That's the impatience I'm talking about. And then we'll go catch the bus. Alright, that was the best experience that could have possibly happened last night. They fed me breakfast this morning, but they also did my laundry last night. Frank goes, "You have only 5 socks?" I found one of my socks in my bag last night. I don't know how things get where they get. Now this is me just being straight up sentimental. Even though it looks like it's gonna rain today, there's like a friendliness to the world. This town is no longer just like a little random town I passed through. Town has a memory of where Frank and Tina let me into their house and fed me breakfast in the morning and told me to the best of their ability about their jobs and their sons. And, Tina likes to train her dog to do dog dancing with 5 of her friends who also have dogs. So they'll like play a song and lead the dogs in circles. And anyway, so now all this town has that associated with it instead of just like these faceless houses. Very impressive. Apparently there's actually some history to this bridge. I think it was built like prior to World War II. And then they never actually ended up building a road over it. And so people just used it as shelters during like the bombs and stuff, I think. Making our way to the bus stop. Welcome to Abendorf. Looks like there's a bus in half an hour. Hello. Found the right spot. I think these probably are people waiting too. How's it going? We made it. We're on the German mainland now. I just met Luca, 24-year-old from Switzerland. He got here, I think on his bike, he said in 5 days from Zurich, which is ridiculous because it's going to take me months to get to Zurich of walking time. Even then, I don't think I'll be able to do it this trip. In fact, I almost know for sure I won't be able to. Cool guy. He's on his way to Nordkap, which is near where I started. I am momentarily going faster than all the cars traveling on the same road. Not sure why, but this area seems particularly blissful. It's got that perfect country vibe to it. $19.12. I love today. I love it. It was longing for places exactly like this that made me want to do these walks. This is exactly the kind of experience I was looking to have. It's perfect. These are perfect moments. It's just everything I want. Look at that view. That view is the view that Ina and her husband get at their little house every day. They're out there just eating, just having some jam and bread, and I asked them if I could fill up one of my water bottles, which they were nice enough to do. That's their little house out on the fields. That is living. I think that's an old lookout point for something. I saw it on the maps. I see windmills periodically, but it's been a while since I could hear them. Okay, small little village. And then we'll be back in the countryside for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 miles. We've been at it today for 7.49 miles. 2 things. One, if you're curious, I stop the tracking on my watch in the rare instances where we have to take a ferry or a bus. So it's always just distance walked. 2, I feel like some of my German is doing pretty okay. Like we were pulled over on the side of the pathway to get Jack some food. And the lady stopped on her bike. She goes, "Alles gut." I figured all was good. So getting pretty good at this. All the churches here still seem to have like fairly prominent positions in the villages. And they all seem to be really well maintained, which is a little surprising because I think religious activity has diminished a substantial amount in the last 100 years. Look at this little window right there. That one is really cute. I recognize that Germany is a big place, so what I'm seeing thus far does not necessarily extrapolate to the rest of the country. But so far, I've yet to see a road, really, without a very nice bike path next to it. And the roads and the bike paths usually have quite large trees next to them. This place is just doing great. If there's anybody any country you think would kind of have struggles after being largely decimated for much of the first half of the 20th century and then dealing with being split in half for the second half of the 20th century, this place is incredible. I love this place so much. Oh my goodness. I just love this. I love everything about this. It makes me really, really, really happy. 12.11 miles in today. There's our next town. See it on the horizon. Still trying to see a vet about Jack's squinty eyes. They just seem far too squinty. I don't know, maybe it's something, you know? But the last town I checked, the vet was open, at least the office hours were listed as half an hour a day or by appointment. I tried sending him an email with no luck. I tried calling and just got a voice, and it was in German, so I didn't understand it. There's one here today that's open from 5 to 7, but it is 4:53. So I'm gonna see if they can just take a gander at my dog. Found the vet, they're right there. They had, their schedule was full, so no time to squeeze Jack in. There is a spot we could sleep tonight. It's one of those rare German designated sleeping spots. Unfortunately, it's 11 miles away, and I'm starving, and that would be a record-breaking day. 11 miles, starting at 5:30. Tempted to try and go for it, but it's far. I don't think it's likely. We'll see. Looks like this place is called Oldenburg. Got a killer dog park here. It's now 7:08. We've gone 16 and a half miles, and so there's no way I'm putting in 10 between now and between when I stop. So that ain't gonna happen. There's not really a town in between here and anywhere I could get to feasibly by tonight. So it looks like we're gonna try our hand at wild camping in a country where it's illegal to wild camp. Bolstered by all my experience walking across the US and all the comments on my social media lately that have been like, oh, you'll be fine, from Germans. So we should be okay. I just like this pathway. This was, there was a sign that led us to this pathway. It said bike trail. And I don't think it lasts very much longer looking like this. Man, you can tell I'm tired. But it is incredibly beautiful to me. I just like the fact that it's like a pathway facilitating movement in between fields. And so like you get to be in a place where you generally don't go unless you're a farmer. Everybody passes by fields. It goes out in the middle of them. One, because you don't want to mess up crops. Two, because you probably don't own them. Three, because there's nothing really to do out there. So getting to be out in a place like this, I just enjoy it. Because it feels rare in a way. Anybody can go to Disneyland if you're willing to pay that much money. Nobody chooses to come here even though it's free. I like that. 18 miles in, it's after 8 p.m. So the next spot I see that has potential we'll take. If I see anybody on a walk with their dog, I will ask them if they're okay with an American sleeping in their yard in a tent. We're leaving that little town. I looked pretty hard. There was not a single person outside that I could see. Maybe I'll gravitate in the future towards knocking on doors. The only time I've ever tried that, I ended up being frisked by police in Louisiana about half an hour later when the inhabitant of said door called the cops on me. I was carrying my camera, trying to prove that I'm a photographer, not a crazy, and they said they thought I had a gun. The cop, when he found me, there was a pair of them, he's like, they said you were carrying a gun? I was like, no, I got a camera. He's like, yeah, I could tell it was a camera on the security footage. I'm like, so what are we doing here? My mind is jumping to worst case scenarios. You're getting way too much insight here, by the way, and I apologize for that. But I was like, what if Jack gets super tired and we can never find a good spot? I'll just sit here on the ground, I'll hold him in my lap, and I'll let him sleep all night while I just sit there. Maybe I'll sort of sleep. Then I realized, if we're going that late, I'll just put him on the cart and we'll walk all the way to that one place that said we can sleep there. It's still probably like 8 miles away. That's only like 3 hours, so worst case scenario, we get there by midnight-ish. So I guess that's not all bad. Found this bit of woods. The only problem is, I don't know if you can tell, but these trees are planted in perfectly straight rows. There's a line, there's a line. And even more obviously, we're in a farmer's field. it's surrounded by crop fields, so I'm not sure why it's here. Exploring it is a possibility since it's getting late. I bet you 99.9% probability nothing would happen if I camped here. We'd be fine. But I just feel so uncomfortable doing it. I know I would sleep very poorly because I'd be anxious the whole time. And I'm not an early riser, so I can't just be like, oh, and then I'll leave at 6 a.m. I don't wake up early. Today I woke up prior to 8 a.m. because I told the people, I was like, when I'm staying at people's houses, I want to be reasonable. So they're like, oh, what time are you going to be going on your way in the morning? And I was like, 8? Seems like a reasonable time. And that's why I've been so beat for the last number of hours, because that's significantly, by like an hour at least, earlier than I like to wake up. Jack paid for our little excursion into the woods with just insane numbers of stickers in his fur. Found a grass path through the hills. Not sure how long it's going to take me to regret this, as it does take a little bit more energy. I have an answer for you if you're interested. About 30 seconds. Steep hill, ground got really ruddy, and there's a lot of thorns across the path. I saw some woods over here on the map. Thought they were a potential spot. There's a fence. I miss Sweden. Update is 10:24. We've been at this for 22.75 miles. Jack is riding again because I really don't want to wear him out because I want to be a good dad. This is the first time where I put my backpack on my back. I think he knows I do that when I'm going to give him a ride, and he halfway hopped up there. He hopped up there with his front paws, and when I picked him up, he didn't make it difficult at all. And then you see he's laying his head down. So I'm halfway just decided just to go for it. I'll be brief. It is 25.07 miles in, 11:07 p.m. We're in some terrible backcountry roads that aren't even really roads, they're just ruts. Going through the fields, a lot of them are full of mud, so that's fun. We got like 2 miles left to get to the spot. Not my favorite night, but I just want to plow through, so next update will probably be there, even though for me, the next hour or so will be quite miserable, I think, because I'm very tired. So is Jack. And I think the campsite is on a hill, like the tallest hill in this state. Literally, that's what it is. It's the tallest hill in the state. Not there yet, but we got back to an asphalt road and I could kiss it. I still might, honestly. That road that we were just on, it was not a road. At one point I was just plowing through fields in swamps. That was not fun at all. No fun. Unfortunately, we're still about 1.5 miles out. But I'm hoping there's a significant amount of asphalt. 11:41 p.m. I think we have one more turn. And then only I don't know, 1/2 mile from there. So, sort of closer-ish. We made it. I'm going to sleep. I can tell you more about it tomorrow. It was long. I'm tired. Bye. We survived the night. You hungry, Jack? Actually, not a bad view. Not really. As far as I understand, this is the highest hill in the state. It's not terribly high, but you can see some rolling hills. We gotta pack up. I think it is forecasted to rain soon. Here's something I noticed yesterday, if you want an indication of what kind of roads we were traveling on. Yeah, it sucked. Alright, we're rolling. 11:03 a.m., 0.14 miles in. That's how far I've moved. Jack definitely prefers, I think, walking on fields and grass and forests. He always seems to get so excited and does these little happy gallops whenever he can just run through the open plains. It's very cute. It makes me think my idea to buy a farm is sort of right on target, so he can live that farm dog life. You know how in Narnia there's just a light post in the middle of a place where there shouldn't be a light post? I'm not really sure what our plan is yet today. Hopefully we can find somewhere that seems a little more promising. I think I mentioned once recently on here that when I originally envisioned these walks, I thought of having the evening off, not walking the whole time, so that I could read and think and have the time to enjoy my surroundings rather than just always pushing through them. I think I'm going to try to start gunning for that. I'm okay if I have a little less mileage, a little bit more memories. Hey Jack, we're going this way. It's raining a little bit. We're under some trees, so I'm just gonna wait for it to stop raining. While I wait, I'm gonna make a promise to myself and both of you watching this video. I have no idea why I was so terrified last night of putting up my tent somewhere. I was so far in the middle of the woods. Yes, there was like farmers' fields, but I was so far away from anywhere. I'll never do that again. I'll never push myself that hard and transform it into such an unenjoyable process. Today, I think everybody who saw me had no idea that that actually was a legal spot to sleep. I don't think it's super well known, but nobody said anything because nobody cares. Nobody cares. As long as I'm not setting up my tent outside like a McDonald's or a grocery store. If I'm way out here in the middle of some backcountry lane, I'm gonna set up my tent on the edge of a field. These random country roads always have these benches. It's fantastic. I love that concept. They're like designed for traveling, not in a car. It's a different mentality about getting places. I'm here for it. I love it so much, more than I expected to be. There's this huge barn. Looks like they store large farming implements, but look at the support style. Those are just trees. Each of these columns like that, they're just trees. They're not lumber. They just took a whole tree every single time. I love that so much, I can barely describe it. Actually, all of it's just trees. None of it is sawn lumber, which you'd think would make things quite a bit more difficult, but it is fantastic. It's beautiful. Everywhere around here they have the roads, and then they have the bicycle roads. This tells you where things are going to be via roads you can take with a car, and this tells you where things are going to be via roads you can take with a bike, or by hiking. You see those little hiking figures. Barn doesn't even look that old. It's got a modern metal roofing system. That right there is not just an interesting statue, but you can see it's a beehive. I know this is a ridiculous statement, but this is such a random road in Germany that I wonder if an American tourist has ever come here. I might be the first. Like I said, ridiculous, I know. Who's a happy little boy riding? Do you like riding the cart? We're currently out of water. Not only was he lagging behind a little bit, but I just want to make him hopefully not too thirsty until we can stock up a little bit. Drank like a liter as we left camp this morning, so I gave him the rest. I'm thirsty too. And hopefully we'll find some more soon. This is not normally the place I'd try to get water, but we're out. And there's no restaurants in town, no grocery store in town. Nothing public facing that I could see. This is the only place that had like a desk. I walked in and asked him if he had some water because we're out, and he said 1 second. And he left screaming some guy's name. So maybe he doesn't speak English. And he needs to fetch someone who speaks English. I don't know. I have 9 water bottles. There's 5 of them. There's another one. And Jack has 3 that I kind of use for him. Somehow I let them all run out. They let me back here into the yard, and there's a spigot that we're filling up from. There's a bathroom too. The spigot's faster. I don't usually fill them all up at the same time, but it was kind of cool to meet somebody. And this is a carpentry place. They make doors. At least that's what they're making right now. I also lost one of my wheels somewhere recently. There's 2 wheels up front usually. So I'm gonna have to go backwards and find that. We've gone back kind of far. Still no tire. So I'm tempted to just leave Jack here in the shade with the cart, even though there's expensive cameras on it, and run. See if I can find it, because I can't remember the last time I checked. I'm very surprised I didn't notice the imbalance, but apparently I didn't. Still haven't found it. I have a sneaking suspicion I'm gonna have to undo all 4 miles. By the time I get back to this town, I'm gonna have to ask that guy for water again. Come back over 2 miles now, still no wheel. It is not doing good things to my mood. The last time I can find photographic or video evidence of me having the wheel on my cart was this morning at the campsite. And I can kind of think of one place where it might have fallen off. That was shortly after we left the hill. I'm really annoyed. Thank the heavens above. Only about another 100 feet farther from where I was complaining. Oh man. So glad I don't have to go all the way back to my campsite. I think I'm only letting it affect me this much because I'm tired already from the long night we had last night. My energy levels are low. I don't know if that's coming across. Took a little break. I'm in a better mood now. and I found the tire. I can tell you though that for the next, I don't know, half an hour or so, I will have an extreme increase in vigilance about making sure my tire is still attached, and then I'll forget. That's how it goes. Okay, we're finally passing the place where we lost our tire, or where we realized we lost our tire. So we're making forward progress again. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Hi, Jack. Are you a good boy? Hi. That is ridiculous. Ridiculously pretty. This is the town that Nicky, a gentleman we met this morning on the hill, lives in. He says he's a farmer. Gave us his address. Well, probably gonna stop and say hi, maybe sleep there. Okay. We've only gone 9 miles, but as we know, 5 of those were just, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. I've seen several things that look like this. I don't even know what they look like. They've got like a smattering of different materials in them, and then they look like welcome boards. If you have any idea what an explanation of this tradition is, please let me know. This is cool. I know this town or little community is named Ben's. I think this is it, but if it is, Nicky is a lot richer than I thought, because this place is huge. We're in a tunnel of trees that just surrounds this small road leading out of Ben's, which is where Nicky was born and raised and lives. And it's 5:30, so it's actually still quite bright and hot outside. This tunnel is transforming it to like 8:30 appearance-wise. 2 sleepy boys. Combination of circumstances led me to this moment. Contemplating sleeping in this ditch, pretty close from the roadside, but I feel like the depression will help hide us. And not being detected is 90% of not being annoying to anybody. Remember what I said about I'm just going to sleep on the edge of a farmer's field? That was my plan. Saw there were some fields up ahead. I have yet to see this until now. These fields have fences on the edge of them. Probably given our proximity to town. That's a bummer. So that would have been a lot more comfortable, I think. And it's been like that for a while. I've been looking for a little bit. I had several spots like I saw on the maps. I was like, that's going to be perfect. Fences, fences, fences. So that's a bummer. And then I looked up on Warm Showers, which is like a community-driven, offer someone a place in your yard or in your couch or in your spare room. And there was 2 hosts listed in the town I'm approaching, so I could have gone there. But I texted them each maybe an hour and a half ago. Neither of them have responded, which is the only reason I got this close to town, thinking maybe one of them would respond. Maybe they still will, but I don't want to walk until, I don't want to get there banking on that and have it not happen and then be nowhere even near this private. So I told myself if they didn't answer by the time I kind of got to my last places I thought I could stealth camp, then I was just going to stealth camp, and if they respond after that, then it's kind of just too late. So I think I'm going to set up camp here. That's how close we are to the road. So it's going to be kind of noisy, at least for the evening and the morning, but during the middle of the night it should be a little less bad, I think. A lot of bugs. Generally, when I find garbage in the woods near where I'm planning to sleep, I actually consider it a good sign, because it means people don't come here often to clean it up. This one, with the variety of products that there is, almost makes me think it was a homeless camp, but I don't think it's that recent. So maybe they already kicked out one guy. Okay, so I did some walking along the roadside, see how visible I am. Here's my theory. My tent is yay tall. This part's not visible at all because of its color. It just looks like a stick. This part is really down low, even though it's gold, so can't really see it either. I need a tent because of the bugs. There's just so many right now. If I just do it like that, I still have the screen, but the white part of the mesh isn't visible from up high. I couldn't see it at all. And that was me looking for it, kind of. I could with that clip done that was done, so I'm going to leave it like this, I think. It'll be real low to the ground, and then I think we should be good. My rainfly is like a foresty green. I mean, that's pretty blended in looking on the camera right there. But even then, I think probably be better just to have nothing than to have that. So I think this is what we're going with. This is the setup. My last line of defense is having that written right in front of my tent. So if anybody goes, oh, I'm going to kick this guy out, I'm going to call the police, and they see that, and they go, oh, never mind, he's cool. I don't know if that's real, but well, might be. Honestly, I'd rather not have the splashes from Jack's drinking on the, mattress, but I'd rather even less have to go outside with the bugs. It's 2:45 a.m. pretty much the worst case scenario. Rain started. So I put on the fly real quick, hoping it ends. And I don't get flooded in this gully.